And so I want to put a face on some of this for just a moment. We have today a number of farmers who no longer can drive to their homes. They have to take a boat to their homes. They have 5 feet of water. Some of them are looking at the roofs instead of their homes, and their crops are gone. And when they're gone, whenever a flood occurs, it doesn't just occur and wipe out that year's flood, that year's crops. Quite oftentimes it takes 2 or 3 or 4 years, and sometimes the ground is damaged to the point where it can never be reclaimed. The gentlelady from the southeast portion of our state, some of her area that was devastated by some of the levees that was blown up, those crop lands may never return to fertile ground because of what's happened. And again, people say, well, it's just farmland. No, it's not. This is the business of farming. These people, this is their business location. And if you look at their farms, they're not just land that's laying out there. They have irrigation systems. They have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in irrigation systems, and the berms and the ground that's been cultivated and excavated in a way that it can utilize all the waters that they irrigate with or whatever. So they have a huge investment in this property. It's not just land. It's a huge investment in their business. And so we're interested in continuing to help those folks rebuild those levees, rebuild their lives, rebuild their businesses, because this is what they're about. One of the things that's happened in my area right now is with basically a tsunami coming down the Missouri River Basin. In Montana, they had an unusual amount of snow that fell this year, a late snow melt, and then on top of that, they had a whole year's worth of rain in a 2-week period, and we have literally a tsunami coming down the Missouri River Basin. Fortunately, we had a flood control set of dams in there that have minimized it, but even at that, this is a 100 to 500 year flood that is devastating everything in its path. And so those folks, in fact, right now we have a system from Kansas City on north, there's a single private levee that is either breached or topped. Let me repeat that. There's a single private levee north of Kansas City that is not breached or topped. That's how severe, how devastating this situation is this year. And we start talking about the uses of the river. It's important to note that barge traffic on rivers, the gentleman from Louisiana a moment ago talked about the usage of how much corn and grain goes up and down the Mississippi. The normal barge can carry 900 trailer loads of grain. 900 trailer loads of grain. Think of all the vehicles we're taking off the roads. Think of the environmental impact of none of those vehicles being on the road. It's very significant. And yet, in our area, the Missouri River is being underutilized because of some of the new mandates that are being put on it by different bureaucrats here in D.C. with regards to trying to worry about a fish or a bird that lives along the shore and or for recreational purposes. We have some interesting debates going on right now. Those we'll decide at a later date. But the problem we're facing today is the devastation that it's had to life and property and the safety of those. And we believe that these funds are necessary for people to recover from this devastation that's occurred. And just as a sidelight here, we also would like to thank the Appropriations Committee for not only finding a way to do this in reprioritizing federal funds without adding to our debt, but there is an interesting fact here as well I want to note. It was from a report back in January of 2009 with regards to the Congressional Research Service that said, had supplemental appropriations been fully offset, which this is, since 1981, federal debt held by the public could have been reduced by at least 23%, or $1.3 trillion. This could have reduced interest payments to the public by $57 billion a year. So I think while it's difficult, I know that friends across the aisle and some of the folks here discussing the prioritization this morning are not happy with this. I think these are difficult times. We all have to realize that reprioritizing things sometimes is not easy, but in this situation I believe that it's justified, and we certainly support what the fine work the Appropriations Committee has done. I yield back. Thank you.